There she is. All right.
Hi, good morning.
So, good morning. Good morning. All right. So, this is Jackie. I wanted to take some time today and just share her story, what she's done, a little bit of what she's accomplished so far. And she's already passed this, but you passed 100 pounds, which is amazing. 100.4, and now probably even farther.
Yeah.
24.5% body fat drop.
Mhm.
10 inches off your shoulders, 13.5 inches off your waist, 13.5 off your hips, and so much more. But those are just some of the numbers so people can see where you were and where you are, and what you're
Yeah.
accomplishing is so phenomenal. And you did that in a year and a month, and that alone, you stayed focused, you stayed driven, and you're resilient. And but there's the journey in between, and that's kind of what I wanted to take today about, is just
Mhm.
to share your journey, share what you've accomplished, and kind of let people hear it, and also let them be inspired by it to say, maybe this could be my time. Maybe this could be opportunity for me to
Mhm.
jump into this. So,
Yeah.
kind of how I would love to start for you today is the question of, I remember when you first reached out to me, it took you a little bit of time, and
Yeah.
to kind of say, okay, do I really want to do this? Is this me? So I just really love to hear first that part of the story, and then
Yeah.
we can go from there.
Okay. So I worked with your sister at Starbucks for a really long time, and I worked with Phoenix, one of our mutual friends, for a really long time too at Starbucks. We all left the company, went our separate ways, and I met up with Phoenix and her daughters to like go to lunch, and Phoenix looked amazing. I mean, she always does, but she was talking about like, oh, I get like the cauliflower crust, and she started talking about a whole bunch of stuff about how she's just like, I feel so much better, I'm just making better choices for myself, and she was talking about like, yeah, like um Laura's like brother is doing like a fitness thing, and he's like amazing. She showed me a little bit of her plan, like the breakdown for like food and like the workouts and stuff like that. And like, oh, that doesn't sound like too like hard or anything like that. And I was like, all right, well, let's think about it. And then um this was early like mid 2019, and then 6 months later or so, one of the girls at work went like this, and her shirt lifted, and I was like, oh, her name is Jillian, and I was like, oh, Jillian, you can see your belly button, and she was like, oh my gosh, my shirt is so tight. I was like, no, 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 you look great, because she had gone through like a fitness journey too, and I don't know what that was for me to see her belly button, that I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen my belly button in plus 10, 15 years. Like I don't know why seeing her belly button made me go, oh, I want to see my belly button. And then I called you like 2 days later.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was like the first part of your journey like for you? What was the challenges? What were the obstacles? And then also,
Yeah.
what were you surprised about?
Um, the I think the biggest obstacle was eating in front of other people. Because I have tried to do like, oh, like meal prep, and like let's do salads, and let's do. I think I had such a narrow minded view of what healthy food was. So I would always try and like do salads, and like I would only eat salads, but I was missing that portion where carbs are okay to a certain extent. Um, Make sure you have a lot of protein and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, fruits and veggies were good, but I didn't realize how all of that kind of played into everything. So my biggest obstacle was eating in front of people, because I was so used to just eating what everyone else was eating. And then uh, acknowledging that I was on this journey, because I didn't really want to tell anybody that I was doing it, just because, like I said, I've done it before, and I didn't want it to be like, oh, like 3 weeks later, well, I'm eating like junk food or fast food again, and it's like, I
Yeah,
thought you were on a health kick there, Jacqueline, and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
But that part I think was probably like the hardest, just to kind of get over it and just like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to be eating, and like now even when we went out to dinner yesterday, I was like, I'm very sorry. I'm going to be really picky about my food. I want this, this, and this. I don't want this. Here we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been
And
kind of
that's a
funny.
big step for you, even in that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like from when you
Yeah.
first started to now, like having that.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I loved working with you as well was helping those moments occur, talking those moments out, prepping
Mm-hmm.
you so you can have that value to say, hey, this is how I want my food when you go
Mm-hmm.
out. And
Yeah.
I'm just so proud of you in that. Like you've really done an incredible job with that. And also just the journey that you've been on. You've been killing it and crushing it, and just staying committed. I want to take you to the moment when you passed 50 pounds and we
Mm-hmm.
hit a plateau.
Oh yeah,
And
220. Uh-huh.
yeah, I love for you to just share that moment because I think that was a very significant moment for you
Mm-hmm.
in your transformation. That's
Mm-hmm.
where I think that was like the part where at first you accomplished it, and then you're sharing how it was just that was significant enough, but
Mm-hmm.
yet the journey wasn't done. But you
Mm-hmm.
felt like, okay, maybe
Mm-hmm.
this is okay where I am, and then you
Yeah.
found things out about yourself. Love to
Yeah.
kind of have you share that part.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always been bigger. I've always been like had more than my. I've always been chubby, basically, and that's always been my identifier. So when I reached 220, I was thinking about like, okay, like when was the last time I weighed 220? And I was probably on or around like my wedding date. So this was March of 2014. Yes, 2014. And so I think I wasn't ready to let go of that identifier. So I was like, oh, this is I'm fine right here. This is good. I don't want to. Right here is great.
Yeah,
I think I was very apprehensive of losing my identifier, um, because something else could take place on that. So that was like probably the biggest thing for me is just I needed to learn that my weight isn't my identifier. And in my culture, it's very much like, oh, Mija, like you look so skinny. Here, eat, eat, eat. And then once you're a little bit bigger, you're like, oh, honey, you need to like calm down right now. So it's very much like an in between situation, um, where I didn't know how that was gonna play out, but trying to let go of like my body weight being my identifier was really big for me. And so after that, I was like, no, like I can do this. Like I'm still able to do a lot of things that I did, when I was bigger, when I was younger. Um, and so it's like, no, like let's keep going. Let's see what else we can do. So I know that I was able to do the 50 pounds. Like let's see if we can do another 20. Let's get down to 200. That would be cool. So because I haven't weighed 200 pounds since like at least high school for sure. So
yeah.
that was 20 or 2008. That's when I graduated.
What was it like for you to like break the 200 marker? Because you started at 270, and then once you broke
Mm-hmm.
that 200 marker, what was that like for you? What was your experience?
Um, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it because I have not seen the scale not say 200 something in a really, really long time. So at first I got on and it said like 199 or whatever, like under 200, and I was like, wait a minute, okay, hold on, and I got back off, and then I got back on, and I was like, yeah, it's under 200.
Yeah,
This is nuts. Yeah.
yeah. That's so cool. That's so cool. And what a special moment to experience just coming onto that scale and seeing, wow, I'm under this number.
Hmm.
And so I at first I want to dive more into that story, but what was the moment during the journey since you started that you realized this program's working for me? Um,
I mean, the monthly pictures that we do, like that was a big thing. And even just a couple of the girls at work were like, oh, like I can see your silhouette coming in or your shape coming in.
yeah,
That was really cool. Um, honestly, I had pants in my closet that I hadn't worn for years because I was like, one day I'm gonna fit back into these guys, and
yeah,
I put them on, and they were loose. That's the part. that like where it clicked, like, oh my gosh, like it asked, this is, I mean, I could see it working in terms of like just even bending over to like cut my toenails or like paint my toenails, like that is so much easier now. Um, but definitely in like the bending of the like on the waist and stuff. But yeah, putting on those pants. I remember texting my husband. I was like, "Oh my gosh, babe! Like I just put these pants on. I haven't worn these pants since like before we were married." And he
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. Good job!" And just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so rad. That's so
yeah.
rad.
And now I'm
Um,
down 6 pant sizes, so that's amazing.
hey, there
Yeah,
you go. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Since then or total? I think you're
Um, total,
okay.
total. So I was at a like a I was living in a blissful blend of 18, but I was really a 20.
Yeah.
And then right now I'm at a 14, and the 14 is like a tiny bit loose. But I'm gonna wait until I'm like a 12 or something and then buy more pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That is a problem that you're gonna face is you have to buy
yeah,
a wardrobe every
yeah,
little bit. So your
exactly.
thank you. All right, you can say you're welcome. And
Thank
but
you.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, thank you.
It's fun. It's fun, but it's
Yeah,
also like, hey, this is costing me more money now. But you know what?
yeah,
You're worth it. You
yeah.
the investment in yourself is worth it, and it's just
Hmm.
another indicator to yourself of this journey is worth it for me and who I am.
Absolutely,
So let's
absolutely.
talk through even the journey of your fitness in this
Hmm.
to have to do a burpee, to have to do
Oh my
different
gosh.
things that like people hate.
Yeah,
What was that experience like stepping into fitness?
yeah.
And was fitness a part of you before? Let's share a little bit of that too.
Um, I I mean, like in high school, I was very active. Like I did softball, like all through high school and stuff like that. Um, I think after high school, like I said, I would try it and like, okay, like I'm gonna sign up for the gym. I'm gonna go to the gym, and I would do like my cardio. Like I go on, like try to go on like runs on the treadmill and stuff like that. Um, but I kind of fell off of that, and then I didn't really have a lot of like things to do like in terms of fitness. I would, like I think my walk, if you would consider my fitness, would be like going to Disneyland and walking around the whole day. That's probably like the most amount of uh, exercise that
Exercise.
I would think, yeah. I mean, I did have a very active job. Like at Starbucks, it's not just like you're not just standing in one spot. You're like running around, like trying to make sure everything's okay. Um, but when I left, my new job was like, okay, hustle and then stop for like 20 minutes, hustle and then stop for like 30 minutes. So in terms of like my job, it was moving around, but it wasn't super stationary. It was more stationary than anything.
Hmm.
So um, when I started doing the workouts, the first day I did the workout and everything, and then I went to work the next day, and I was I was like a little sideways and I started hobbling a little bit, and one of my managers was like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, just it all hurts. Everything hurt. Like my legs have never been this sore. Um, it just my shoulders have never been this sore. Like just everything had never been this sore before. Even when like I was doing softball and stuff like that, it was amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, those workouts that Phoenix showed me are not that easy. And they look
Yeah.
easy in the moment because it doesn't look. It's not like you're like going crazy with like all these weights and everything. It's just like simple motions and with the weights, but it's simple motions, so they're so structured and so like pinpointed to where you want them to work, which is obviously what the program is for. But I have never been so sore in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And for some people, they're probably freaking out right now, saying like, "I
yeah,
never want to touch weights. Like, when
yeah,
is this gonna end?" It's
yeah,
just the first little bit.
yeah.
Then you kind of get used to that, and then you move beyond it.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
I love that because sometimes what people don't realize is it's this concept that we have to get past of what is pain about, what is
Mhm,
discomfort about, and what is it releasing into your life. And
mhm,
sometimes we got to move through friction and soreness and
mhm,
different things so that we can
mhm,
get to the other side
mhm.
where now we enjoy it. And like,
Yeah,
how weird is that? But it
it
just
is.
takes time to see the worth of what we're
Mhm,
putting in. And so
mhm.
when was that moment for you that went from, oh, I got to do this to, I enjoy this, and like this has been helpful to me in all areas.
Um, it's been helpful to me just seeing the amount of more energy that I have now, and just my range of motion now is so much better. Like I said, just a simple like I can have my knees like kind of touching my chest and bend over to like tie my shoes or like cut my toenails or anything like that, paint my toenails. That portion has been really nice. We went to Chicago for my brother's naval graduation, and then on top of that, we had gone to Disneyland. So it was a total of like 4 or 5 days walking, which was a total of like 60 miles, and I was fine. Like mentally, I was exhausted, but physically, I was completely fine. So um, I think that was the biggest like okay, I enjoy this because it's making the rest of my life just so much better in terms of like how much energy I have, my mobility, um, uh, just even simple things of like, oh, I need to like grab something off of the floor. Just it's mind blowing how much we're so accustomed to, or I was accustomed to having all this weight on me, and then now I don't, and it's like daily activities are so much easier.
Mm, it's true.
Yeah,
What is that like now? Like you have a
yeah.
100 pounds off your body. What does that feel like on a daily now for you?
On on a daily, um, I don't feel. I mean, I'm always really apprehensive of like going down the stairs and stuff like that. But it doesn't feel like if I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna break something.
Mm,
I'm still very like okay, like be careful as you're like treading down the stairs. But I feel a little bit more confident, even just in like my posture. Like I tend to like okay, like push shoulders back and like walk a little bit straighter. Um, the confidence boost has been amazing, and I'm very awkward when it comes to compliments, but I'm like now starting to like receive them a little bit more. I've had two patients come in to our store, and they're like, "Oh my goodness!" Actually, three now. Where, where did you go? What happened? And I'm like, I got my life together, and
yeah.
I finally lost all the weight and stuff like that. Well, not all of it, but most of it. Um, but just dating what was the question?
Yeah.
uh,
Well, it was I forgot the question too, but that's okay. I think the reason why I lost that question was because I was caught in the moment with you where you're talking about how you're receiving these compliments and
mhm,
the meaningfulness of that. And
mhm,
to me, like that alone is such a special moment. Like when someone that
for
doesn't get to
sure.
have that can have that. And when you
Mhm,
shared about, well, the question was, what does it feel like to have the 100 pounds off? But
yeah.
um, in that though, the part that I was just really sitting with was these two moments that you had. One was um, before this, constantly always worrying about going downstairs,
Mhm,
and then that really hit me. And then the other one was
mhm,
just the compliments and letting them sink in.
yeah.
I think that warms my heart because that's the whole purpose
Yeah.
of this, is just to like really see our own value
Yeah.
and look at some of the things that gets in our life that stops us
Yeah.
from having our value be seen. We
Exactly.
need to see our values so that we can accomplish what we're called to accomplish. And I
Mhm,
think that's so necessary in life, but there's so many things, so many comforts that can get in the way of that. And even,
mhm,
we think like in this era of where we live and how we're living, there's so many things that it was okay at first to numb ourselves, to avoid,
mhm,
to choose to say, give myself a little bit of self comfort, right? Some
mhm.
self indulgence, like. But then, like, if that sticks over time and over more time and over more time, what happens like that? It gets stuck on the body and it gets stuck in this pattern. And then we go, we're so crippled, we can't get out of it. And then all these other things come into our life. And so I see this freedom coming into your life of like so many worries that you had to have before aren't there. And
Mhm,
like how incredible is that to feel? So
mhm.
back to like what you're saying, you're sharing about how going downstairs, like that's been
Yeah.
different for you because you don't have the 100 pounds
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
The compliments that you are receiving, you're carrying that. And I just even loved that you were able to balance the statement, Um, I lost a lot. I still have some to go, but I'm
Hmm.
okay because, and I'm confident in what I'm doing is going to get me there.
Yeah,
And but we
absolutely.
do need to celebrate. We do need to like be in this moment and say, what I've accomplished is huge.
Yeah.
And as we get to receive that, then it helps us to be empowered to say, I can do more, and I'm ready to do more, and I'm going to
Hmm.
accomplish more.
Hmm.
So I'm just thrilled that you're able to say some of those things today. That
Yeah.
shows so much growth. But
Yeah,
so anything
absolutely.
else kind of sticking out to you that you've done now that you
Hmm.
don't have that 100 pounds on you?
Yes, actually. We were coming home one day and this kid was walking around with his dog. The dog somehow got loose, and he took off like on the main highway. And I was like, oh my gosh, let's go get this dog. Like, and so my husband stopped and I took off running. And not that I didn't run before, but it's like my knees just handle the weight better. And I was like, it sounds super cliche to say, but I just felt so much lighter running that I was like, oh, I can
Mm-hmm.
do this. And then I actually told my husband, I think like last week or something, I was like, maybe I should do a marathon next year. Like maybe just
Watch
start off with
out.
like a little one, like a mini one. But I would have never, if you would have asked me like to, let's say like a year and a half ago, just let's not go that far, I probably be like, how about I help you and I just watch you from the track? Like
Yeah.
I'll just be here. You can run your track. I'll come from moral support. But now it's like, yeah, it's maybe something that I could potentially want to do because I do feel like my overall health is better. My overall just um uh what is it? Joints are feel better. Just everything just feels so much like airy and lighter. Like I remember walking up the stairs like when I was doing laundry and stuff because our house is like 3 flights up, and there's no elevator. But just even walking up the stairs, I could hear myself like just everything was so big in this area, just everywhere, and I could hear myself like, and I knew that was also another thing that I was like, okay, that is not healthy for sure. Like, let's get something doing. Let's get something moving for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so great. I just saw Laura just joined, so we can say hi to Laura.
Hi, Laura.
She's a part
Welcome
of
to
the
Heaven.
your journey of getting into this, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Which is awesome. So now where you are, tell
Hmm.
us what like life looks like um, now for you. Like what is a daily thing for you?
Hmm.
How is, or actually better way to say this, what was life like before you
Hmm.
started with Healthy Habits, and what is
Hmm.
life now that you're living this out more?
Okay. Um. So in the morning, it depends on like how I want to break down my workout. I sometimes do like nighttime workouts better just because it lets me go to sleep a little bit easier if I don't take the pre workout. Um, but overall, my days are a little bit more planned. I would just kind of go like, oh well, I have to be at work at 10:30, so let's wake up at 9:30 and then just get together and just go. But now it's like, okay, do I have food for this morning? Do I need to prep any food? Do I need to do I have food for this afternoon? If I do, okay, cool, awesome, let's pack that. If I don't, okay, so if I don't have anything ready, am I thinking, am I gonna go get food from, insert place here, or am I making a shake? Like what's going on? So I think about all of that and I make sure like I have it with me, especially at work. Um, uh, so that and then workouts and then food wise, my taste buds have completely changed. Like I when I first started doing like shakes, I would do like breakfast shakes or like lunch shakes or something like that, and I would put like non-fat Greek yogurt in there. And the first time I tasted, I was like, oh, let me just clean the spoon off. I was, oh, this is disgusting. Like I need to add so much sugar and so much like syrup, like the Walden Farm stuff that we were talking about.
Hmm.
Um, that syrup is amazing, by the way. If anybody wants to go get that stuff. So I would put a whole bunch of stuff of that in there, and I was like, okay, this is the only way I can eat this. And now it's like I'll just put a little bit of peanut butter in there, a little bit of spinach, mix it up, and that's it. That's like breakfast or lunch or dinner or something like that. So taste buds, food wise, everything has completely changed. Um, when we went to Chicago, I definitely had pizza because why not do deep, 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 deep? deep dish pizza in Chicago. Like that's, you know, it's
Yeah.
what they're known for. But definitely a lot better choices. Like I'll get something like lettuce wraps. I'll get a side salad instead of like doing like fries or something like that. Um, uh, it's just more structured. I think is basically what the answer is. More
Yeah.
structured for sure.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I think something else you highlighted that's always important for people to understand is um, so many things are hidden in like what we choose to eat, and sometimes like we go, oh well, if I'm gonna have a burger, I gotta have the fries, or I gotta
Mhm.
have the bun, or all these different things, and
Mhm.
sometimes we can still enjoy, but we can be more intentional with where our food's going or where our
Yeah.
calories are going,
Yeah.
especially at first, right? And then once you
Yeah.
shift that, everything changes. Your taste buds,
Mhm.
your how you perceive it, how you conceive it, how you
Mhm.
burn it. Everything starts to
Mhm.
really like turn on, and then you're just like this burning machine, and you're like, how this is amazing.
Yeah.
But so lastly, if they're like, say people are going to listen to this, people are
Mhm.
now watching, but more people are going to watch this.
Mhm.
So what would you say to them if they're on the fence of saying, I
Yeah.
kind of want to lose weight or take body fat off my body, or um,
Mhm.
but I don't know if this is the right time for me.
Mhm.
This is being filmed in the middle of the holidays, and I think honestly that's the best time to pursue fitness.
Mhm.
You can do it. You can lose weight during the holidays rather than gain weight during the holidays.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So what would you tell people that are on the fence to say, I'll do this in the new year compared
Mhm.
to starting now, or I'm afraid to start, or
Yeah.
they might be saying, I failed so many times before. How is this going to work for me now?
Yeah.
Um, you carry a story that's so important for people to hear, that you've walked through all those seasons already. You've done
Mhm.
every holiday, and you've lost weight during all of it. So
Mhm.
what would you tell people?
Um, I would say don't push it off. There's always gonna be something like, oh, I'll start Monday. Oh, I'll start, the first of the month. Oh, I'll start January 1st. But there's always gonna be something in your head that's gonna say, oh, I'll just push it off to next week. Oh, there's no better time to just do it right now. I think your program compared to everything else that I've tried, um, the difference between that is that you are so involved in everything. In show me, like, send me pictures of your food. So this is the workouts. This is what I want you to do, and the videos are amazing. Um, your the way you have it planned out for food, like this part is for when, if you're gonna work out in the morning, do this is your food for your breakfast, this is your food for your lunch, this is your food for your dinner, and then vice versa. If you're gonna do a workout at nighttime, this is how you want the breakdown to be. So while a lot of people, and for myself, I need that. I need that accountability. I needed that, like, okay, well, I like, I'm just gonna sneak like a fry here, and then, like, no, like, I have to send this, like, what I've made and what I'm actually gonna intake into my body. Like, I have to send it to him. So it's very much like that. Like I said, like that's the biggest part for me is just the accountability portion of it. Um, so I that was honestly the biggest thing that helped me through this. It's just you were there. We had our weekly talks, sometimes bi-weekly talks. Thank you and sorry for some of those.
Okay, that's on
um,
here.
yeah. So the weekly talks, the daily, like, send me your food, 3 pictures a day, plus the workout. Like, show me, like, send me your sweaty face. Um, so all of that absolutely was the biggest thing for me. I would tell people, don't put it off. It's an investment in yourself. You're gonna feel great. You're gonna look great, and like, just take that time to self care. We know, and everyone's talking right now about, like, oh, let's, self love and self care and everything like that. But it doesn't just look like, let me go take a bath and, like, put on some, like, lights and, like, drink a glass of wine. That's absolutely beautiful, and that's also self care. But there's more. It's more than just that one version of self care. So I
Right.
think that was the biggest thing for me, is just to learn that I can do this for myself, and I don't have to put myself last. It's I can self love in a different way, as opposed to what everybody else is doing. So do it. Don't put it off until next year. You can still have a really good Thanksgiving or Christmas or insert holiday here. You just have to be better about your choices, and or take food with you. Like, if you know there's not going to be a vegetable available to you, you know, take your little salad with you, and that's what I did for some of the holidays. Yeah, just
That's so
do it.
cool. Yeah. Way to go. Way to go. Well, Jackie, again, an amazing journey, and we're just starting.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been on it for a beautiful amount of time to realize the journey
Yeah,
is worth it.
yeah,
What you're accomplishing is worth it. How you're doing it is working for you, and
yeah.
there's so much reassurance in that. There's so much confidence that can come from the fact of knowing
Mm-hmm.
if I use these tools, I can accomplish what I'm really desiring.
Yeah.
And you're doing that. And so
Mm-hmm.
thank you for taking the time to do this. Thank you for coming on and inspiring others.
Thank you.
Your story is
Yeah.
inspiring. Your story is incredible. And who you are as a person is incredible. So that's why I wanted to catch you and share the story of overcoming 100 pounds, losing
Mm-hmm.
100 pounds, and now the next chapter. So I can't wait
Mm-hmm.
to bring you back on later and say where we are then.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think this is just one of those moments where I'm starting to tell more stories of my clients and bringing them
Mm-hmm.
on just so they can inspire others.
Yeah.
And I think I've been convicted more of that people need to hear your guys' stories. People
Mm-hmm.
need to be inspired by that, and especially in the season that we are in. Um,
Yeah.
they need to see that there's hope. People need to see that they're worth it. What they're trying to accomplish is worth it. And if they just have the right tools, they can have it in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just work, and you need people to walk with you. You need to have that coach that can kind of come alongside you and kind of
Mm-hmm.
love you. And also,
Yeah.
it's like that love-hate relationship, right? I always say to you, like, you're gonna hate me now, but you'll love me later. And
Exactly.
this is what it's all about. So
Yeah.
we're so proud of you. We
Thank you.
celebrate you, and we celebrate what you've done and what you're accomplishing, and we're here to support you and be with you in this journey. So Jackie, way to go! 100 pounds
Thank
down,
you. Yeah. Thank you.
24.5% off your body of fat, 10 inches off your shoulders, 13.5 off your waist, and 13.5 off your hips already,
Yeah.
and so much
Yeah.
more. But
Yeah.
um, keep going after it, keep crushing it like you are, and thank you for this time, and we'll catch
Yeah.
up soon. And for
Of course.
everyone else, like let's keep being the best us, and let's keep challenging ourselves and
Mm-hmm.
really giving ourselves the self-care that we really love and need. And Jackie said it perfectly. There's other forms of it, so let's enjoy that. Let's get after that and have that. So
Absolutely.
you have a wonderful day. Everyone
I
else have a
will.
wonderful day, and thank you guys for listening.
Mhm.
Take care,
We'll
everyone.
see you soon.